That was a green carbon Chiron. What is life? Hello one and all, welcome to Seen Through Glass Up GT2 RS. Welcome back to Monterey. It's a bit of a bonus midweek episode. If you saw my video on Sunday, you'll know that I'm up here for Car Week, celebrating the kind of end of my journey with my Boxster. More on that on Sunday, but also attending the Quail Rally, the Quail itself. I've got various other events I'm attending. I'm hosting a few things. I've got some meetings. I mean, it's a busy week. This is one of my busiest weeks of the year, but it felt unfair to come all this way and not make some more content for all of you. So yeah, we're just kind of winging it. I have no idea what's going to happen today. I'm cruising around. I've got a few errands, a few missions to do, but largely just do a bit of spotting, maybe bump into a few friends. I don't know. Let's go with it and see what happens. Right, Car Week is a bit silly. You find me sitting in a Pagani Zonda. I don't quite know how to explain how this has all happened. Essentially, driving along the road in the Boxster, spy said Pagani Zonda Nero, currently for sale with DK Engineering. Go and take some photos. When they go, well, you want to take it for a drive? Yes, I do. So that's how I'm now sitting here with the engine on in a Pagani Zonda, about to drive it down the road. This is for sure, well, a pinch me is not enough. I need to like punch myself in the face kind of moment. For me, this car, the Zonda, it's one of my unicorns. I'm so lucky to do what I do. I've driven some incredible cars, driven some amazing cars with DK Engineering, but the Zonda has always eluded me. And I think for my generation, it's not just a poster car, it's kind of like one of the ultimate dream cars. But I've never had an opportunity to experience one. I've driven quite a few Huayras, and I've enjoyed them, but I've never really bonded with them. So I've always thought, I want to know what the Zonda's all about. And I'm about to find out, which is outrageous. So this car, the Nero, is a one-of-one Zonda. We're going to get into it a little bit more once we get down the road, but I just want to get rolling in this thing because we've got about 20 minutes. Car Week is hectic for everyone, so I am so grateful to DK Engineering for allowing me to do this. It's just, yeah, okay, right, let's, first gear, there we go. Now I've been told just come off, we're rolling backwards, so come off the clutch, there you go. I've got no throttle, just can use the clutch to start moving forward, and we're gonna eke out of this junction. Yeah, okay. We are moving in a Pagani Zonda. Oh, boys and girls. Okay, well, let's not get too carried away. I can't start reviewing it within 20 meters. I kind of want to, but screw it, let's go. Now, what is okay, sorry, yeah. Okay, this car really wants to move. What is so interesting is I totally expected this thing to be a little bit manic. From all the clips I've seen of Zondas online, everything I just thought it was going to go, I thought it was going to rev super fast, I thought it was all going to be a fingertips thing, but that experience just there, actually, it builds pace really nicely. It's got some good torque. We made it up into fourth gear, but it was all just, this is going to be I have to say that sound. It's when you get up to the top, but it's so interesting. Okay, they say don't meet your heroes. Okay, we'll come back to the dynamics in a second. First things first, visibility and just light. This car is delightful. I mean, look at this. I'm probably going to get sunburn on my head. Should have thought that through. But there's such great visibility everywhere, and the view in the wing mirror is sensational. These big inlets and then that rear wing. So I mentioned that this is a one-of-one. Like so many Zondas, it didn't start its life as a one-of-one. This was actually a Zonda S back in the day, but an S 7.3. So the original Zonda, which came out in the late 90s, was a 7-litre better, and then they upgraded the Zonda S to 7.3. So it's got the bigger, chunkier engine. But then I think back in 2015, became this Zonda Nero, taking a lot of different parts from Zonda F as well, but most sort of noticeably or importantly, the Tricolore. So this is really the only manual Zonda in Tricolore spec. So whilst it's not a Tricolore, it basically effectively is. It's kind of funny what Pagani are doing there, because whilst the car was built or created all those years ago, they're still producing versions now by taking the standard. We're good? Okay. The standard Zondas and just improving and upgrading them. I mean, you know what's funny? It's very good, this car, at this. It's actually very usable, but when you start moving, you can tell that the car is much happier. This car wants to be absolutely, well, you know what I think it wants? It wants a really long straight road. I mean, we're not doing corners today because it's not really the road for it, but it's one of those cars that you kind of just want to link everything together. A beautiful Bavarian back road, or some of the roads that I did with the Boxster crossing America. It's just about the flow. When I thought it was going to be like, woo, 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 I just expected the rear end to be constantly stepping out and everything to be revving like mad. And maybe there are versions of the Zonda that will do that. This Nero is just, and the ride is lovely, and these seats. I've struggled with the Huayra before because it's all just felt a bit brash. This feels kind of elegant. It's an elegant Pagani to drive. Oh. I'm trying to take in the moment and talk to all of you. These high pressure videos, these short time slot videos, they're so much fun because it's all, you're getting it raw, you're getting it real. Huge thanks to TK Engineering for allowing me to do this. Important to note, this car has been federalized, which means it's kind of gone through the various things that need to make it available here in America. So therefore the soundtrack is maybe not as sensational as some European versions, but that's because of emissions and regulations. And let's face it, you know, America's such a big market. People who own these cars over here are going to have to be prepared for that to happen. But you get this kind of beefier noise now. It's not that high-pitched sing. It's this kind of, at least inside, chunk. But it's so easy to position and place. Yeah, and it is not slow. I actually can't believe the age of the Zonda and how actually modern, dynamic it feels. It's different in so many ways to a hypercar that you would go and buy and get built today, but so rewarding. I think the best thing about these Paganis is they're as exciting to sit in as they are to look at from the outside. You know, these are showstopper cars. No matter how you think or what you think about them dynamically, there's no getting away from the fact of how they look. And when you sit in these things, they are just as exciting. And I would say that this car, it has all the theatre you'd want and expect, just from those windows, the views, the light, the leather, the touches, the details. But it's got that analog side of it, which is so hard to find in modern cars. Well, I'm back in the Boxster and I'm trying to analyse what just happened. Once again, thank you to DK Engineering. They didn't need to make that happen, but they're absolute heroes for allowing me that quick drive. Now that I'm out of the car and the adrenaline's starting to cool off a bit and I can analyse the actual experience, because you know, when you're behind the wheel, you're just like, oh my God, I'm driving a Zonda. But I do think it was a teeny bit disappointing. Maybe disappointing is an aggressive word to use. It reminded me a bit of my manual LP640 drive in Liechtenstein a few years ago. I think that's just because it's of an era, and that's the most thing. It sort of does show its age slightly, which is maybe not a surprise. But because we keep getting these new iterations of Zonda, these extreme versions, you should think of it as a newer car than it actually is. It was wonderful and great and very analog, but just, yeah, not as symphonic, ballistic, hair-raising as maybe I expected it to be. But it was a very short drive, essentially on big, almost highway roads. So I'm not gonna like write it off, but yeah. Anyway, I'm so grateful for the opportunity, that is for sure. And on looks alone, as a poster car from my era, if I was a bazillionaire, would I have one? Yes. Just not sure how often I would end up driving it if I had lots of other things in the garage. But anyway, let's continue our day. I mean, after that, God knows what's next. I mean, maybe nothing. Maybe that was the peak. It's all going to go downhill from here. This could be the end of the video, but let's see. Something else might be lurking around the corner. Anyone got a LaFerrari I can drive?